you find me happily absorbed, bashing a couple of chicken breasts into elegant escalopes or cutlets. This is disturbingly gratifying. But these are ready. A bit of calm now. Before they get their crunchy coating, I'm going to bathe them in Dijon mustard. Even though they get such a brief dunking, the mustard really seems to tenderize them and gives such piquancy. On top of the mustard, some cinnamon. One clove of garlic, just mince it in. And finally, 1 egg, just to bring everything together and help it stick to the chicken breasts. And I shall whisk these together. Ah, the gold and the blue. It's like the beach. And now in for a brief dip go these beautiful, look how thin, escalopes. This is so enjoyable. There's enough here to give quite a good thick coating. I'm going to leave these lying happily here while I go and wash my hands. This really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. We've had 1, the bashing, 2, the bathing, and 3, the crunchy coating. And this crunchy coating comes courtesy of cornflakes. I love the crumb you get from these. And now I massage and coax the cornflakes into crumbs. This whole recipe is a bit like being a 3-year-old, only better. I'm going to deepen the golden tan of the cornflake crumbs by adding some smoked pimenton or paprika. This adds a bit of heat, always good. So 1 by 1, these bathing beauties go into the cornflake crumbs to get crunchily coated. I find it easiest just to put each cutlet or escalope into the crumbs and then sprinkle or dust the top with more. And just carry on until they're thickly coated. While these chicken escalopes settle in their slightly fiery cornflake coating, I'll get on with my fennel, watercress and radish salad. First, a bulb of fragrant fennel, sliced as thinly as possible. If you aren't as clumsy as I am, you could use a mandolin, but I just don't trust myself with one. The same goes for the radishes, about 4 to 6 cut into thin discs. And a couple of handfuls of peppery watercress to line the plate, before showering the fennel on top. A squeeze of lemon, a pinch of sea salt, a trickle of extra virgin olive oil, and that's it. Right, I don't need much oil, and because these are so thin, I don't need much time. I'm ready to flip. And the outside is so crunchy. And they're done. A small readjustment of my leaves. And it's crunch time. There are 3 words, such important words, that when I hear them, my pulse quickens and my heart gladdens. And they are, of course, fried chicken sandwich. Such a wonderful thing. And the chicken is only one part of the equation, because when it comes to sandwiches, the condiment is queen. So where should I start? It has to be gherkins, I think. I couldn't do without gherkins. I know it's very personal how you how you make a sandwich, and this is my way. Now, I'm going to cut them lengthways into very thin tongues so I get that whisper of acidity equally distributed in every bite. And kimchi. Now, this is a late addition, really, to my chicken sandwich. Kimchi is fermented cabbage. It's like Korean sauerkraut, in a manner of speaking. And what this brings is both added crunch, but also a sort of funky sourness that becomes absolutely addictive, but not just acidity needed, because what we also need, I always need, is heat. And for this, I want some smoked hot paprika. And as ever, I'm back for that Chinese condiment of condiments, crispy chili oil. Gonna park the condiments just for a moment. Got a chicken to fry. Well, I don't have a chicken to fry. I've got a chicken thigh to fry. And that's what makes this so kind of doable. Well, deep frying is never relaxing, but I like that bit of frisson of fear. But one chicken thigh is very easy to do. The first thing I'm going to do is make a marinade for the chicken. I'm using kefir. I think it's meant to be kefir, which is sort of cultured milk. You can use buttermilk or plain yogurt. And into that goes a fat clove of garlic. Want this to have a bit of punch. Right, my jailer's spoons. First, salt, always important. Now the hot smoked paprika, which really is smoky. Bit of fireside warmth. Maybe a bit more than warmth. Some Dijon. Beautiful amber maple syrup, teeny bit. And a bit of lemon. I mean, the kefir is quite tangy anyway, but I love adding a bit more lemon. It's all ready for the chicken. I use a skinless boned chicken thigh, which is just perfect for one person, and it fries quickly because it sort of opens out a bit, as you can almost see at this stage. And obviously, before the chicken goes in the oil, it does have to have a wonderful crunchy coating, and that comes simply from flour. Hot smoked paprika again. And some salt. There is quite a lot of flour, but I want a very, very crunchy coating. There we are, my little chickadee. What makes this chicken so crunchy on the outside is getting a good shaggy coating of flour, and that means double dredging. I'm trying to be patient. I'm getting hungrier. Every last bit. And I think we are ready to fry. That's the right noise. So I reckon it'll need about 3 minutes aside at 180. This is just about as low stress as deep frying ever can be. 1 pan, 1 chicken thigh. Easy. Look at this beauty. Look at it, so golden and brown. And that wonderful craggy carapace. That's what's going to give me crunch. I'm going to let it stand for a bit on the kitchen paper because I have learnt the hard way. I nearly always burn my mouth, and that just ruins everything. I love the building of a sandwich. First layer has to be mayo. This is garlic mayo, and in it, the crispy chili oil. And a teeny bit of honey. It just balances it. Slather City. Iceberg has to be. When you want crunch, you want iceberg. So, on top of the iceberg, the chicken. All that talk about my gherkin earlier, but I haven't sliced it yet. And the kimchi. Slight ceremonial hush has fallen over me. It's partly just the anticipation of biting into this. And I'm never without my pink pickled onions. Lovely and mild and beautiful. Okay, roof on. I'm going in. Ah, that sound, you see? No, that's going to be good. It's hot, but not too hot, I think. Mmm. Mmm. Bye. This is so delicious. Hello, can I have the bavette?
Of course you can.
Thank you. It's the whole of it. Yeah. Lovely. Bavette steak is cut from the flank, and like all the cheaper cuts, it's so rich in flavour. I cook it for a very short time over very high heat, but I like to marinate it first. Thank you. And for this, I found a magic Asian ingredient that tenderises the meat and infuses it with its fragrant sourness. It's tamarind paste, a bit like date, but without the sweetness. I just dissolve it in water and stir it into a rough puree. To balance the sourness, I add saltiness with some soy sauce. Just a little sunflower oil, a bit of moisturiser for the meat. And finally some honey. Its sweetness offsetting the tartness of the tamarind. Just a little mix together, and then it's ready to get working on the steak. I like to give it a good massage before it goes into the fridge to marinate. To partner my steak, my radical radishes. That's to say, I roast them. It may sound strange, but cooked, their hot crunch is mellowed to a juicy pepperiness. Just halve them from top to tail, then drizzle over some regular olive oil. And arrange them cut side down on a roasting tray. There's something rather restfully mesmeric about this activity. They need only 10 minutes in a hot oven, which, rather handily, is pretty much the time I need to cook and rest my steak. Now, my butcher taught me that the only way to cook a bavette is to sear the hell out of it, and I quote, and then cook it really rare. So this is going to be hot. Here goes. Just shake the marinade off. The wonderful thing about this tangy tamarind marinade is that it is so sour. It really intensifies the sweetness of the meat. So I give a bavette 2 minutes each side, ferocious, and then I let it rest for about 5. Turning him over. Oh. I love the char marks, and this is going to be properly black and blue. That's to say, blackened on the outside and really rare inside. I serve this carved into thin slices, and it's important that you carve against the grain, and you can see the grain so easily on a bavette, like that, going that way, and I shall slice this away. This is ready. And while the steak rests, I shall retrieve my ravishing radishes. They are ravishing indeed. They're so exquisite. I have a plate strewn with watercress, and I shall pile it pinkly with these beauties. The thing about roasting radishes is that they lose their crunchiness and become juicy, though still with bite. And their pepperiness is mellowed. And then all I need to do is scatter generously with sea salt and some chopped chives. Just exquisite and also divinely edible. Now, you've all got to put up with my bad carving. That's just how it is. So how's everyone been? Good?
Very good.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. I am going to leave you more, don't you worry. I think I'm going to drape it in an attractive manner.
Thank you.
Well, darling, can I have your plate? Yep. Right. Little ribbons of meat. Oh, very good. You'll match my meshes.
Looks good. Thank you very much.
Tangle. I'm just going to mustard up.
Mustard. Wow.
I have to have mustard.
Of course.
A panic. I don't have mustard.
Yes.
I think it's you and I.
I'm in love with this.
Hello, can I have the lamb ribs, please? Lamb ribs are cut from the breast, and I lived on breast of lamb when I was a student. I used to braise them, in one piece all the time. Now I go for the ribs, which I roast with cumin seeds and nigella seeds, and I can tell you it's the way forward.
Thank you.
Because I want to keep the flavour of the lamb ribs to the fore, I'm not coating them in a sticky glaze, because this is really about the marriage between spice and meat. I start with nigella seeds. I mean, if you have a spice with the same name as you, it's a bit rude not to use it. Their slight lemon-scented pepperiness is boosted by the glorious pungency of cumin. Hard for me to have lamb without cumin. The fat on the ribs means I need only a little oil, just to help the spices stick to them. To highlight the sweetness of the meat, the saltiness of some soy sauce. All I need now is some garlic, quite a bit of garlic. Just mince them in. So all I do is schmooze the ribs in this scant mixture, just so they're glossed with conker shiny liquid and freckled with spices. Because they're a fatty cut, I roast them on a tin with a wire rack, so all the excess fat drips down, but still, it's that fat which gives them all the flavour and that lip-smacking stickiness. You certainly need a lot of napkins when you eat these. I was recently told that the literal translation of nigella seed in Arabic is seed of blessing, which seems entirely right for any sort of meal. I cook these in a low oven just till the meat is tender and the fat crisp. Here we are, ribs.
Oh,
your favourite, she.
Oh, divine. Ella, that's for you. Lovely.
Now, my short ribs. For me, these sing so sweetly when imbued with Asian flavours. Now, Asia is a large continent, and there are rich pickings, and I take full advantage of that because I have a compulsion for buying ingredients from this part of the world, partly because they can look so beautiful. I mean, I love her. But also because I rely on them to provide such bold flavour. Now, I'm going to start now. I could stay here, but I won't. This, my Chinese rice wine. We're all used to cooking with wine, in other words, grape wine, but you use rice wine in cooking and it's like a revelation. The best way I have of describing this, I suppose, would be to say it's like dry sherry mixed with a little bit of brandy. So there's this warmth and depth. And I also want hoisin. Now, what hoisin brings is that most fashionable of tastes, umami, in other words, intense savouriness. But here, it's matched with an equally rich sweetness. So everything is balanced. And to complete this, we need just a sprinkling of dried chilies. There is a certain graphic beauty to these flintstone hunks of meat. And yes, they are striated and feathered with fat, but it's this fat that gives so much flavour. And there is also the crucial matter of the bones. There is an old English saying, the closer the bone, the sweeter the meat. So a goodly amount of hoisin. You don't need stock because there's so much flavour from the short ribs. So water, simply water. And some Chinese rice wine, and a little bit of soy, not too much. Not a secret ingredient, but a fantastic one. And now I want fennel, I want cinnamon, I want star anise, I want ginger, and I want cloves. And I do this lazily and easily with some 5-spice powder. Quite a lot. But the glory of long, slow cooking is that flavours always mellow. You can be bolder. And don't be frightened by the amount of chilli. This gives warmth. It's not going to blow your head off. I want a small amount of sesame oil. I don't need any extra fat, but I do want the toastiness of the sesame oil. So let's stir everything together, just so I can get an early preview of this rather feisty fragrance. And a final ingredient, I want 4 fat cloves of garlic. I just grate them straight in. And because of the long time in the oven and the resting afterwards, you don't get any acrid hit from the garlic, just sweet mellowness. And now for the sacred anointing. Brilliantly mixed. This spicy bath that the beef will braise in is scant, but that doesn't matter. I have a plan. I'm making a little covering for it. Slightly lower roof that stops any of this from evaporating and keeps every bit of flavour in. And now, a lazy, long and slow braise in the oven, and deep pleasure awaits. After the beef ribs have had a good 4 hours in a really low oven, let the rich stew cool without its lid or paper covering.
Are you ready?
As soon as the ribs are cool enough to the touch, I put on my CSI gloves and tenderly remove the bone from each chunk. Then, this is crucial, put the stew in the fridge for at least a day so that the flavours deepen and yet mellow at the same time. When you're ready to serve, lift out the now hard layer of fat that will have risen to the top. Again, I glove up for this, and it's a job I adore doing. And all that's left to do now is reheat the aromatic stew in an oven for about an hour, making sure it's piping hot before serving. And now, the wonderful thing about my short ribs is that because they're cooked so gently and for such a long time, is that they are meltingly soft, but they still hold their shape. I think they need nothing more than a little sprinkle, some coriander. Its earthiness is the perfect partner here. And a few pinpricks of sweet heat with some chili. And frankly, you know, I have been uncharacteristically patient. Took a long time to cook. My patience limit is reached, so I'm gonna treat myself to a bit now. What I like is a spritz of sharp lime on all that rich sweetness.